Good evening, everyone, and welcome to game number 6 of the MSL semifinal between the Brooklin Lacrosse Club and the Century 21 Peterborough Lakers. I'm Pete Halliday, along with Scott Arnold, for what should be a fantastic lacrosse game. Obviously, a must-win, Scotty, for the Peterborough Lakers.
Yeah, it's huge, and this series turned right around after the Lakers won the first 2 games. Brooklyn puts in Steve Orlerman in net just to shake things up. They end up winning 2 games in a row, and then after back-to-back games last week, they decided to put Higgins in for that last game, an 8-7 overtime win. 3 straight victories for Brooklyn, giving them a 3-2 series lead, and it surprised a lot of fans that we are in this situation. But watching this Brooklyn team, I know you and I aren't surprised, because the skill on this team this year has been outstanding.
So Brooklyn in black, the Lakers from Peterborough in white, and it's showtime here in Whitby. And the Lakers win the opening draw and go right in. Jake Withers back in the lineup. He missed the last 2 games for Peterborough and is key on the draws. Can't quite get that one under control, and Brooklyn up the other way as they look to draw first blood. Bounce pass across, comes to the top. It'll be played right here and moved in a little deeper on the near side here, and it's going to be Sean Wesley. He's had a great series. Moves it across to Barnable. Barnable out in front. Good look, and Kiernan off the mark, wide of the goal, and Peterborough in transition. And it's going to be Alex Pace. Pace to Holden Catoni. Catoni looks, shoots. Higgins with a save, rebound, and scooped up there by Ben McDonald.
Zach Higgins, he's been dialed in, talked about him at the top of the broadcast, but here's a guy who's one of the best goaltenders in the world, and after dropping those first 2 games, you know he refocused himself, and you could see it last game.
All right, Brooklyn with the ball, little swim move, shot on towards the goal again, just off the mark, so they won't get a reset. Didn't hit the net or Rose. Another look down low, that hits Rose as he gets down into the crease, makes the save to keep this one scoreless early. Dylan Hutchison coming in. Hutchison into Mike Robinson. Robinson rolls towards the top before unloading the ball to Joe Resetarits. Resetarits has a little bit of room, looks back to Robinson, fires, and that goes wide. Again, loose ball up for grabs, quickly scooped up here by Carter Page.
Big possession for Peterborough after that missed shot.
Here's Robinson. Robinson to Thomas Hogarth. Hogarth moves it in a little deeper. Shot. That is fired wide. Comes all the way back. Robinson will do his best to keep it in this side of center. He does. And here is McCulley. Brad McCulley working one-on-one. Robinson comes in to help out. Shot from outside. That goes wide. Scooped up. Robinson sidearm shot. Higgins with the save.
3 missed shots from Peterborough, and then that desperation shot towards the end's the only one that gets on Higgins.
So it's going to be played by Wesley. Now Wesley will jog it in and work it off the near boards. Wesley at the top, comes in, Rose with the save. Big rebound controlled by Zach Miller, and a full 30 here for Brooklyn to work with. Kiernan across, little roll, Barnable comes in, twister right on towards the goal, and Nick Rose with the stop. So scoreless so far. Haven't played quite 3 minutes. We're 2 minutes and 45 seconds into game number 6. Jake Withers moves the ball across. It'll be set up here by Holden Catoni. Catoni and Tate Catoni both in the lineup tonight. Holden has it. There's the feed. And unable to control it was Thomas Hogarth. And it'll be played here by Brooklyn up the other way in transition. Mike Byrne. Byrne drops it here into the stick of Taggart Clark. And Clark, he looks to set something up before moving the ball over to Barnable in a little deeper. Halfway through the shot clock. 12 seconds of work with. Shot, they score! Brooklyn striking first. And it's 1-0 for the home team here in game number 6.
Just a nice heavy shot from the outside. Tanner Cook getting in on the action. And we know how hard of a shot he has. This one, though, didn't get everything behind it. He just made sure to pick the corner. A nice, accurate shot. And 1-0 Brooklyn, as Cook hasn't suited up since July 16th.
Cook's on the board. And Brooklyn out to a 1-0 lead. A win tonight. They move on to the MSL finals against the Six Nations Chiefs, who swept Owen Sound in 4 straight. Here's Carter Page. Page to McCulley. Brad McCulley moves it in a little deeper. Page, one hand. Here's Hogarth, comes in, shoots, and a stop there by Higgins, denying Thomas Hogarth. So good look by Hogarth right at the top of the crease, but Higgins coming up with a big stop. As the men in black make their way down here, it's going to be played here by Kiernan, the captain. Out in front, shot goes wide. Schul looking for the loose ball. Colton Armstrong in there too, but it's Kiernan faking the shot. One hand between the legs, goes just wide of the goal. But a nifty attempt, Scotty.
A nice attempt by Kiernan. He faked the shot from the top. Still had a couple seconds on the shot clock, but 3 defenders in front of him, and he just pulls out the one hand between the legs.
Here's Holden Catoni. Catoni over to the far side for Joe Resetarits. Resetarits back to Catoni. Catoni shoots, and Higgins, his former teammate in Philly, making the save.
Lots of Lakers fans made their way down here. Short drive, about 45 minutes to get here, and they're trying to get the Go Lakers Go chance here in Whitby.
Miller with it right now for Brooklyn. Moves it across, backhand feed, down low, shot rose with the stop. Would have been a crease violation anyhow. And jogging it up the floor, it is Gilray. Matt Gilray flips it into the stick. Robinson coming in. Robinson shoots, and Higgins down, makes another stop. He's been sharp early here for Brooklyn. Lakers got the ball back, though, so a reset here for Peterborough. It's McCulley. McCulley to Robinson, who's still out there. Robinson heading to the goal again, firing, and Higgins standing tall.
Good job by Higgins. Looked like Robinson had that top far corner all picked out, but Higgins just raises that shoulder and closes the door.
Zach Young slowing things down a little bit before passing it off to Kiernan. Connor Kiernan. He makes the first pass, gets it right back. Returned by Wesley. And Peterborough gets it back, and they'll look to tie up the game as Hutchison runs it down inside Brooklyn territory before getting it to Holden Catoni. Younger brother Tate Catoni coming out. Hutchison's going to stay and play a little offense. Here's the pick by Saris. Resetarits, one hand on the stick. Resetarits gets it here to Catoni, to the top for Holden Catoni. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Big shot, but high over the shoulder, over the net, matter of fact, of Zach Higgins. So still 1-0 Brooklyn. If you're just joining us here, Keenan Cook with the game's only goal so far. As it's going to be the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club setting it up from the far boards this time. Barnable, he's got it for Cook. Across. Miller shoots, bounce shot. That's not getting through the big pads in the stick of goaltender Nick Rose.
Rose, after letting that one go through a little earlier, he's recovered nicely with 3 saves.
So the ball played here by the Lakers. A little swim move. Drop pass. Shot coming. Higgins down low. Makes a great save there. Making him high, making him low. And he's dialed in early on this one. As it's going to be Sean Wesley. Wesley comes in. He gets a pick. Rolls towards the top. There's the pass. Moved there by Will McLeod. Little swim move by Cook. Shot coming up high on Rose. Makes the save. And Peterborough in transition. They have some numbers here as they make their way in. It's the captain, Robert Hope, coming in, moving it to Resetarits. Tate Catoni, double team. Somebody's got to be open. That's Hope. He walks in, passes it off. Resetarits, a bounce shot. And just wide. And Hope spending more offensive time on this particular shift than all season long, perhaps, there, Scott.
Yeah, you don't usually see Robert Hope join the offense too often, but if there's an opportunity to go up there, he'll join the fray.
Shot on goal, and Higgins with the stop.
Higgins has been perfect so far in this one. Hasn't been tested too much, but a couple good opportunities from Peterborough where he's able to make some key saves.
Comes over to the far side. Brooklyn looking to increase their lead. A holding penalty coming up here. Here's Cook in the meantime with a shot. Up high, handled by Rose, but a reset. Full 30. So bonus time here for Brooklyn, as they've pulled the goaltender for the extra runner. Kiernan gets it over. Far shooter position to the near side. Peterborough will grab it now, but they're going to be given the game's first penalty. And up 1-0 already. Brooklyn will go on the power play.
Brooklyn, who's been exceptional on the man advantage during this season and this series. We'll see if they can capitalize. There's Hessen making the holding call, and we'll take a look at the infraction. You can just see that's just before the big save from Higgins, and then as the play went back down the other way, the Lakers get that hold.
All right, so the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club moving it. Wesley, Kiernan, shot right on goal. Rose with a save, rebound, and a full 30. The reset here for Brooklyn, as the Lakers have things boxed up. Hope out there. Ogilvy, pace. There's Colton Armstrong trying to take it away. Comes down low now. Rose intercepts. Heads up play by the veteran tender, Nick Rose.
And Nick Rose was ready for that. Brooklyn has been setting up a guy behind the net and kind of utilizing that extra man instead of the 5 guys in front of the net. And this time Rose was ready.
It's been a good week so far for Nick Rose in this building, Scott.
It has. His Orangeville Northmen advancing to the Minto Cup, beating out Whitby. A nail biter. Orangeville scoring with 1 second left to force overtime and then scoring on their first possession. Former Laker Andrew Suter helps coach that team as well.
Power play continues, under a minute left in the man advantage here. The Lakers shorthanded, down by a score of 1-0 in Game 6. A must-win for them. Shot coming, they score. Beauty shot by Taggart Clark, and it's 2-0 Brooklyn.
That's an incredible goal from Clark. Just a quick twister, fast release. See all that space he has? Lakers are kind of set up towards the top. As soon as that man pinches out, Clark gets the pass, and then that twister, that's a rip. It's hard to get that stick over and get a shot off with that kind of velocity.
Withers with a good win on the draw. Withers coming in, one hand on the stick. Looks for some relief, and he's going to find an open man. And it's going to be played here by his good buddy Pearson, Johnny Pearson. And Jake Withers, good pals. Pearson has it, shoots, goes high, and comes back, and Catoni will play it. Loose ball, scooped up here by Brooklyn. Mike Byrne will take it. And now it's Jacob Hickey a little further up. In for Zach Miller. He comes in before unloading it here for Wesley. Wesley to the far side. 2-0 here for Brooklyn, looking to clinch the series with a win on home floor here tonight. They trail 2-0, have won 3 in a row. Gilray. Some good ball movement. Reza Terrence over to Tate Catoni. Catoni out in front, and Reza Terrence was looking for a call. He had a guy on his back, knocked him down. He's not going to get the call, and Brooklyn will get the ball.
Reza Terrence, as soon as he got hit, looking towards that ref, hoping for a possession call for the Lakers, but not getting it here.
Cook moves it over. Now it's going to be Clark looking for another one. He comes in, shoots, and ran out of real estate. Really couldn't get the shot away. Does get the loose ball. Armstrong's on him in the far corner, creates the turnover. Now Armstrong needs some help to scoop up the ball, but Brooklyn will just run out of time anyhow, and Peterborough will get it back, looking to cut the lead. Lakers thought maybe they shoveled that a little further than they had to. Sometimes you see that called now, Scott.
Yeah, the delay of game the Lakers were hoping for, but Brooklyn shoveled it down right at the 30-second buzzer.
McCulley moves it over to the far side. This is Saris over here to Robinson. Robinson to McCulley. Moving pick on the far side, and Brooklyn will get the ball back.
That's a tough call against the Lakers. Just trying to get some flow going, trying to get some momentum, and then a moving pick off ball.
Moved up here by Holden Garland into the far corner. Lots of time on the shot clock. We'll see some ball movement here now. It's going to be played here by Wesley. Wesley's got some room, takes the shot and scores on the run. Sean Wesley. It's 3-0 Brooklyn.
Wesley's been an absolute powerhouse in this postseason, picking up his 9th goal of the series, and he does it all by himself. You can see him sidestepping, looking for some teammates. Nobody's open, everyone's covered, and then he sees that hole towards the middle, steps into it, and just rips it home, and it's a 3-0 Brooklyn lead 12 minutes into this first period.
Loose ball off the draw. Brooklyn with it. Withers trying to get it back with the help of Gilray. And Hutchison in there too in a second effort. And Gilray gets roughed up, crossing center. Lakers want a call as coach and general manager Mike Hazen had the arms up there going, what's the deal with the no call? He may have had an argument. To be a little bit of a hold there perhaps. Cook with it right now. Little hidden ball trick as he's going to wire it back. A nifty one-handed feed to Kiernan. He works one-on-one, and Hope fires him down to the floor. Gilray has to look out. He had a Cook coming at him. Got out of the way just in time, and here's Joe Rezitaritz up the other way. Drops it. Holding it. Katoni comes in. Back to Rezitaritz. Shoots, and Higgins gets a piece of that. And it's going to be Brooklyn ball after a good chance by Peterborough. 7:05 left here. Pete Halliday, Scott Arnold. We got Matt and Gary and the crew from JVI bringing you the show here tonight. We hope you're enjoying the action. Game 6. With a win, Brooklyn moves on. With a Peterborough win, they will host Game 7, which would be tomorrow night at the Memorial Center. But right now, they're in a hole. Although there's lots of lacrosse left in this one, Scotty.
Lots of lacrosse left, but just talking about the history between these two teams and how much this would mean for Brooklyn, they haven't advanced in a playoff series since 2013. That's when they beat the Lakers.
Saris with a pass to Carter Page. Page, who would have been, if my math is correct, about 12 years old at that particular time.
Lakers were just coming off a Man Cup victory at home against Langley. Going into the next year, everyone had them as the favorites, and Brooklyn beat them in a 7-game series in 2013. Six Nations beat Brooklyn in the finals.
There's been some great battles between these two teams over the years, as you mentioned so many times. And there's even that one series where Peterborough had to beat Brooklyn. How many times did they have to actually beat them? Because Brooklyn won 2 games by default.
Yeah, so Lakers ended up winning on the scoreboard 6 games.
Yeah.
But, 2 games were given to Brooklyn after some player protests, ineligible players.
Here's Holden Katoni. Katoni's got the big shot. There it is, off the mark rebound, and Hogarth couldn't quite corral it. Here's Tate Katoni now. He shoots. He fires it wide. Rezitaritz with the loose ball. He's got to shoot now. He does. Higgins makes the save. Hogarth looking for the rebound. They'll get a reset if they can grab it. They can't, and a good hustle here by Brooklyn to take it up over center. Jacob Hickey got it inside Peterborough territory before getting it here to Taggart Clark. Clark's got a goal here tonight. Cook, Wesley have the others. Here they come looking for more. Clark's got a lane towards the goal, comes in, shoots, and got into the crease as well, but fired it wide anyhow. Well, the Lakers looking to get on the board. They were shut out in 2 of the 3 periods last week here against Brooklyn. Actually, it was at home at the Memorial Center. They had only scored in the second period that night. Here's a shot coming right on net by McCulley.
Brooklyn doesn't mind letting the Lakers shoot from the outside. We've seen a lot of shots from the shooter positions and at the top. They're confident enough in Higgins. He's going to make those saves 9 times out of 10.
Here's Sean Wesley cradling the ball before getting it to the top for Clark. Clark moves it in a little deeper. Comes back here along the near boards. Pass towards the crease. Clark was still over there. Just unloads it with a second to go. Just hoping for a desperation shot to bounce off Rose, but he can't get it. And here's Hutchison grabbing it for the Lakers. Dylan Hutchison, his brother Drew, the backup tonight for the Peterborough Lakers. Bunch of brother combinations in this one tonight, including this guy, Holden Katoni, shoots, and he scores. Katoni gets the Lakers on the board. It's a 3-1 Lacrosse game.
And that's what the Lakers need to do. They need to get in tight. Holden Katoni, known as an outside shooter, one of the hardest shots in the league. But he recognizes if you're going to beat Higgins, you've got to get a little bit closer, a little in tight, beats his man one-on-one, and then rips it home, getting the Lakers on the board and stopping that 3-goal run from Brooklyn.
Coming with just under 4 minutes left in this opening period, so it took them a while to get their first. See if they can get on a run. Solid hit along the boards by the Peterborough Lakers off that draw. Alex Pace, the Nova Scotia native, with a solid hit, and the Lakers get possession as a result. Here's Carter Page. Page coming in, works one-on-one up top, gets away from his check, comes in, shoots. That goes wide, comes all the way back. Mike Robinson will play it. Robinson, who plays for the Halifax Thunderbirds in the NLL. What a save by Higgins off a pretty good shot. Higgins with a great stop there.
His best save of the night, kicking that left leg out. He really had to show his athleticism. And it's an 8-second violation. Brooklyn unable to get it up the floor.
See if Peterborough can take advantage. Another big save by Higgins.
Deja vu.
Yeah, very similar to the last one. Let's see if they can get it across the line in time this time. They do. Nice pass, comes across. And here's a shot coming, goes high. They'll maintain possession, though, and Brooklyn with a 3-1 lead, looking to make it 4 here as Cook will play it. Loose ball in the corner. They get a reset after it went off Rose. Just under 2.5 to go. There's some interference on the far side. And slow to get up. I think that is Robert Hope.
Lakers want it to be a penalty instead of a possession call. Not going to win that argument with Hessen.
Here's Tate Katoni. Katoni drops it. Shot. And Higgins standing tall. Katoni looking for the rebound. Can't grab it. In transition, Brooklyn up the other way. Shot. Rose gets a left glove on a big save there off Jacob Hickey.
Hickey with a nice opportunity on transition, and Rose just getting that left glove down.
Carter Page with a hidden ball trick here with McCulley. Page still has it, gets it over to Joe Reziteritz. Reziteritz getting all set for the Bills season in a few weeks' time. He was at the preseason game last weekend. Here's McCulley coming in. McCulley, also a big Bills fan, living down that way now. Reziteritz grabs it but can't get the shot away. And Brooklyn will get it back up 3-1, leading the series 3-2.
Great defense from Brooklyn. They're pouncing all over Peterborough, applying a lot of pressure, not letting anything happen on the offense when the Lakers have the ball.
Cook moves it in, comes back to Wesley. Wesley here to Clark, to the far side. Shot. Rose comes out, makes the stop. Ball's loose right in front of the crease, right at the top, and it's going to be taken here by Ogilvy. Mitch Ogilvy jogging it in. Gets it over here to Robinson, down a little further. Page back to Ogilvy. Ogilvy shoots, goes off the crossbar, up into the play. A reset for the Lakers with 52 seconds to go here in the opening period. Katoni walks in, blasts it, comes to Robinson. Robinson over to Thomas Hogarth. Reziteritz looks up at the clock. Sees he's got lots of time on the shot clock to work with. Reziteritz to Hogarth. Hogarth, never know what he's going to do. Finds Robinson, who takes it off the boards. Robinson backhand feed. Katoni fakes, shoots, tries to go through the 5-hole of Higgins, who stands his ground and makes the save.
Brooklyn's going to use their timeout right now and see if they can draw up something to get a late goal and swing some momentum back their way going into the break. But Zach Higgins has been standing on his head early on. The Lakers really starting to press. After a slow offensive start for Peterborough, they're getting their opportunities now. And Higgins has already faced 20 shots, 19 saves to his credit. As we see Brooklyn huddled in on the offense, drawing up a final play of the period. And the crowd, a good mix of local lacrosse fans and Peterborough lacrosse fans making their way down. And there you see the President's Cup logo on that bench. It's coming up August 23rd to the 30th. right here in Whitby, and JVI will have 22 games that they'll be streaming. Catch all the action right here at the end of the month. A busy stretch of lacrosse coming up.
22 games, yes. If anyone out there is in the energy drink business and wants to come on board as a sponsor, I'm sure Matt and Gary and the gang and everyone involved in that one would appreciate it. But right now, Brooklyn playing for the final shot, the final play here of the opening period. Leading it 3-1. Kiernan will start to play. Moves it over. Cook comes across, off the boards. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Only 2 left on the game clock. And they take the shot. Rose with the save. And the period will come to an end. A great start for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. Getting out to a 3-0 lead before the Lakers scored one in the later stages of this opening period to close the gap and get to within 2. So we'll take a little bit of a breather here. We will be back with second period action coming up in a few moments' time. Stay with us. And welcome back. It's Pete Dalladay, Scott Arnold, and the crew here from JVI with all the action here tonight. And a good start for Brooklyn tonight, Scott.
It took them 3 minutes and 19 seconds for the opening goal, and it was Tanner Cook, who hasn't played in almost a month, getting Brooklyn on the board, assisted by Barnable and Clark. And then on the power play, you see all that extra space for Brooklyn. They take advantage. Taggart Clark with the nice twister. A little bit of a highlight reel goal, and then they weren't done. Sean Wesley would get in on the action, doing it all himself, swinging out to the top, firing it home on the run. 3-0 lead, 8 minutes into that first period, and then Peterborough took them a while before. That was 12 minutes into the period, rather, with 8 minutes left, and then Holden Catoni able to get something going just under 4 minutes left in that period. And we talked about this. The Lakers need to get in tight like that. Higgins doesn't have too many problems saving those outside shots. And the way the Brooklyn defense has been playing, they're forcing Peterborough towards the outside. And a lot of those shots are missing the net as we take a look at the head-to-head with the goaltenders. You see Higgins has only played 3. Steve Orlerman came in for Game 3 after Brooklyn was down 2-0. Orlerman played 2 games in a row, swung the momentum of this series, and then back-to-back games last week on a Wednesday and a Thursday. Higgins came back in on the Thursday. He was well rested, and he ended up taking that game 8-7 in overtime. He's got 20 saves in the opening period, and he has been the difference so far 20 minutes into this Game 6.
Well, better shut down my laptop there. That's good. I'm a little behind, I guess. I can hear myself too many ears here, Scotty, but here we go. We're underway. Yes, been a great goaltending battle at times. We got Higgins, who's coming off a great year in Ottawa. First year down there between the pipes. And then Nick Rose, of course, finishing the year in Calgary after being dealt over by the Toronto Rock. And let's see what this second period brings here in Whitby tonight. There's been some great lacrosse in this building over the last couple of weeks, with provincials being played and the finals between Whitby and Orangeville. Trumbull with a chance to clear, could not. Now shot towards, it's going to be Nick Rose getting in front of that one. Ogilvy over here to the near side. Lakers looking to cut the lead here as Jake Withers back in the lineup tonight for Peterborough. We'll get it over here to Mike Robinson. Robinson to Holden Catoni. Catoni shoots. Higgins with a save. Loose ball. Saris will pick that up. And Saris back to Catoni. In for Robinson. Robinson. Joe Rezza-Terrence now. Tried to feed Hogarth out in front. Saris grabs a loose ball, and then Rezza-Terrence knocked down. And Brooklyn here heading down inside Peterborough territory, up by 2. Kiernan into the corner. And Brooklyn will start from there, making their final change. Coming out there is going to be Will McLeod. Now at the top, Cook moves it over. Kiernan back here to Cook. Shot came from down low and went up high off the glass, and Peterborough will get the ball back.
We talked about how hard Tanner Cook can shoot in that opening period, and right there, he didn't even put everything behind that one, and it was still harder than most guys shoot.
Here's Page. Page with it as he jogs it in a little deeper. It's got Hogarth setting him a little bit of a pick. Now he unloads it to take Catoni with a shot. Hit a stick on route and picked up by Page. Carter Page still with it. Trying to get away from a check. Moves it over. Little fake. Robinson fires one, and Higgins with the stop. Peterborough fans below us here looking for a penalty call there, Scott.
Yeah, they wanted a hold on that last play, and Lakers bench didn't seem to mind, though. Nobody from the bench said anything. They just let the play go on.
Nate Woods gets it in deep here. He'll get it to Barnable. Barnable across. Quick stick, and where is it? Rose got it somewhere in the gears. It's hidden in there somewhere, I think in the left pad. And the ball will be played here. It's going to be Trumbull, who took probably all the draws, perhaps, the last 2 games with Withers out. Did his best, but it's pretty tough to replace Jake Withers. Here's Catoni. Catoni passes it. Saris shoots. Higgins down, makes another stop. Zach Higgins has been great here tonight. And here comes Ryan Barnable. 3-1, Brooklyn leading the series, of course, as we mentioned, 3-2, and can wrap it up with a victory here tonight. Lakers hoping for a victory, and that would force a Game 7 tomorrow night. Wesley coming in. Wesley looks, a little bit of a blind pass. Shot, they score, what a beauty. Barnable finishes it off. It's 4-1 for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club.
Some great patience by Barnable on that one. He outweights Rose, and as soon as Rose makes a move, that opens up the top of the cage, and Barnable able to just drop it through. Nice pass from the far side to get to that point. 4-1 Brooklyn, 4 different goal scorers for Brooklyn. And Robert Hope limping off to the bench for the Peterborough Lakers. He looks to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, happened just before the goal, and that's not a good sign when your captain and one of your top defenders and shot blockers limps off like that. We'll keep our eyes on Robert Hope, and the Lakers trainers on the far side and therapists will look things over. Here's Reza Terrence. Reza Terrence coming in. Double teamed here. He's down on the turf. Hogarth coming in looking for the loose ball. And in comes Page as well, trying to knock a body around. But Brooklyn up the other way, leading this one 4-1. Looking for 4 unanswered wins in the series after trailing 2-0. Cook being forced in behind the goal by Hutchison. McLeod with a shot. That's handled by Rose. McLeod again out in front. Couldn't take that one. Hutchison moves it quickly ahead. Here's Gilray. Gilray, a little 3-on-2 for Peterborough. Gilray comes in, tried to swoop it over here for Holden Katona, who had come out the front door, but that's picked off and up the other way. In comes Samard, and he'll move it in a little deeper. 3-goal lead here for Brooklyn as they make their way over to the far side. Withers keeping a watch on his man. Comes to the near side for Cook. Cook across. Out here for Wesley. Wesley pumps a couple times and scores. Sean Wesley makes it 5-1 Brooklyn. Still fairly early here in the second period.
Some great ball movement from Brooklyn, working around the perimeter. Everybody getting a touch. Look at how much the Lakers defense is running around, and then by the time they get settled into position, Wesley has all the time in the world to unload that shot. But Brooklyn had them running around, and anyone can score on that Brooklyn offense from anywhere on the floor. They've proven that this series. So the Lakers were trying to force it a little bit, and Wesley was able to capitalize on that open space.
And Brooklyn will get possession off the draw as well and set it up right back inside Peterborough territory. Barnable, little swim move to get away from Trumbull, and then runs out of room, gets into the crease. And it's going to be Lakers ball. Ben Trumbull into Reza Terrence, flipping the stick a couple times. Reza Terrence waiting for Hogarth to come in. Spins to get away from a check. Reza Terrence still with it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Reza Terrence goes wide, takes the shot, nothing there. Higgins with the save, and Brooklyn with the ball back. They got out to an early 3-0 lead before Peterborough's Holden Katoni made it 3-1 to finish the first period, but 2 here unanswered in the second by the home team. Here's Cook. Cook gets it right back. Cook with one hand on the stick. Turns, shoots right off the goal mask of Nick Rose. And Lakers can't catch a break as it's back into the crease. Robert Hope is back out there. That's a good sign, Scott.
And he's not limping or anything. That was the one concern. I know he's going to play hurt regardless, but he doesn't seem to be favoring that leg at all right now, or the ankle, whatever it was when he was limping off.
Cook moves it over, gets it right back again. Up by 4, heads to the crease. One-handed shot went off Rose. So that will be another reset here for Brooklyn. As it comes right back, and it's played by Taggart Clark, who scored a nice one back in the first period. Ball on the far side. Hutchison gets pushed away. And Brooklyn showing some patience. Quick shot right there, though, by Cook, and that goes wide. And they'll get it and just fire it up into the corner. And Rose will take it and get it to Hope.
Schul trying to start something on the far side. No takers, though. Brooklyn knows they've got the lead, so Taggart Clark just stands there.
Here's Page. Page coming in a moving pick. Hogarth got caught on that. And the Lakers can't get anything going here in the second. Here's a pass out in front. A backhand attempted, but couldn't get the shot away. Was Sean Wesley. And comes into the crease, and Rose will take it here. Rose ahead, and Peterborough trying to chip away here, down by 4. And they get caught on the time violation. Couldn't get it across in time. Like I said, they can't even catch a break here in the second. And we'll see if Brooklyn can continue to run here with it. 2 in a row here in the middle period. Comes over to the near side and played by Barnable. Gets it right back. Passes it the far side. Shot, or a pass I should say, to McLeod. And then Clark tried the quick stick. Colton Armstrong just lets it bounce into the crease. Congratulations to Colton and the Peterborough Junior C Lakers, who had a big victory on the weekend, Scott.
Yes, their second Meredith Cup title in a row. Good for them. That final game was in Peterborough, a packed house.
McCulley comes in, goes in behind the goal, and Brooklyn will take it in their crease and start from there. Yeah, that was a good win. Good game. And another championship for Colton Armstrong, and did a good job there.
They went undefeated all year except for one loss in the regular season against the Whitby Warriors. We had a great team this year, too.
Yeah, for sure. Here's Wesley being checked by Schul. Loose ball in the corner, taken here by Brooklyn. They're running out of time on the shot clock, and they give it away, and it's going to be the Lakers taking it. Ben Trumbull. Trumbull here to Jake Withers. And Withers in for Robinson. Mike Robinson to Page. Page to Tate Katoni, to his older brother Holden, in a little deeper. Lots of touches here. Here's a move by Robinson to get his way in a little deeper. Doesn't shoot. Katoni will, though. Up high on Higgins, makes the save. Hogarth and Tate Katoni try to get the loose ball. They do. Tate to Holden, shoots, and just getting a piece of it, Higgins. And there's a hit from behind. Hogarth does a great job to get it to Page. And the Lakers work with a reset. Katoni, Hogarth shoots, wires one. Good stop, Higgins. Rebound. Lakers trying to get it here, and they'll get possession in a full 30.
That's the fourth save from Higgins where he's kicked out that left leg down low.
Robinson. McCulley sets him a pick, rolls off the pick. Wasn't open. Here's Hogarth. Spins, fakes, shoots. Higgins, big stop there off Thomas Hogarth.
Higgins dialed in. Not many goalies can stop Thomas Hogarth from that tight end.
Garland comes in, shot. That is stopped. Ball right on the carpet. Lakers will take it. And here comes Peterborough. Down 5-1. Trailing in this series 3-2. Trying to force a 7th and deciding game tomorrow night. Holden Katoni. Katoni, who has the only goal so far here for the Lakers, to Joe Rezitaritz. Rezitaritz feeds it over to the far side. Shot coming. Stopped there. Robinson denied by Higgins. And Brooklyn will get it back exactly halfway through the Lacrosse game. 10 minutes to go in the second. Unless, of course, we have overtime for the second straight game. But right now, at this rate, Brooklyn with a 4-goal lead. But we'll see. It was quite a turn of events as well in game number 5. Back in Peterborough, where the Lakers came back, almost won it in regulation, but lost in OT.
8-7. Big win for Brooklyn. They were fired up after that one. They've been fired up after all 3 other wins, but after that game at the Peterborough Memorial Center especially.
Katoni gets it over to Hogarth. Here's McCulley. Swings it over. Carter Page shoots, and Higgins gets an arm on a rebound. McCulley. He grabs it. Brad McCulley. Penalty coming up. The Lakers will go on their first power play of the Lacrosse game here. It's been very few penalties, as a matter of fact. Ball comes to the top for Holden Katoni. Katoni to Joe Rezzaterritz. Back to Katoni. 12 on the shot clock. Rezzaterritz, Page, Katoni. Page shoots, scores! Carter Page. That makes it 5-2. Brooklyn still out in front at the Lakers with a little life here.
So with a delayed call, Nick Rose on the bench, the extra attacker on the offense. The Lakers utilizing that extra space and some great ball movement. Check out that give and go. It's rare that you see a give and go across the floor like that, but the Lakers able to pull it off. Carter Page all the way across to the far side to Katoni, who gives it right back to Page, and he's able to fire it home before Higgins could slide over.
Columbus and Withers on the draw here. Bo Columbus. Someone's going to be happy to get them or get him in their NLL lineup here after this weekend. And real good battle here along the boards. And eventually picked up here by the Lakers. And here they come looking for more. Gilray to Ogilvie. But a good defensive play by Columbus, who came back and got a stick on that. Here comes Zach Young. Walks right in. Young shoots. And that's off the mark here. And it's going to be loose ball, though, taken here in the corner by the Lakers. Dylan Hutchison wearing the double nickels, the 55. Hutchison jogging it up over center and gets it over here to Holden Katoni. Katoni into Saris. Braden Saris with it. As he gets it back, Katoni, check, rolls right back into his stick. Katoni tried to find Robinson, who has to hustle over here just to try and push it in a little deeper before the shot clock goes. He might even get a shot away. He does, and Higgins down, makes the save. Robinson made it tough on him, though. 7:35 to go in the second. We hope you're enjoying the game here tonight on JVI. We got Matt and Gary, the whole gang here, Pete and Scott, in a fairly warm broadcast center here at the Iroquois, but
Fairly's being generous.
it's all great. Here's a chance, and then they run out of room, or did they? It looked to be a crease violation. The Lakers may have. Did they take a penalty there? There's lots going on in that crease. It's a bit of a yard sale / gong show in there right now. A lot going on.
It looked like Withers took his man out, the captain, Connor Kiernan. Kiernan ended up going into Rose, and then everyone just kind of turned their head, saw everyone in the crease, so that brought the crowd through, but nothing will become of it. Play will resume. Lakers, though, will have to start it back inside their own end.
Ogilvie comes back, touches up, if you will, and gets the ball to take it. Tony McCulley comes out of the corner. Tony sets him a little pick, gives him some extra room. Joe Rezzaterritz, here's Hogarth, comes in, goes low, and a save by Zach Higgins. You got to figure it's just a matter of time before Hogarth finds the mark here, but so far, Zach Higgins has got the better of him tonight.
Yeah, he's been in tight a few times, but Zach Higgins closing the door. He's got 34 saves already.
He has been busy for sure. Loose ball in the corner. It's Barnable up against Gilray, and that's a tough task for anybody, Matt. Gilray. And now we have little action in behind the play. I was looking up the floor waiting for the transition, but Brooklyn now will get a penalty, and we got some yapping in behind the play there too.
Yeah, this isn't surprising. Just past the halfway mark of this game. Tempers starting to pick up a little bit here. These are two big rivals, these teams. It'll be Taggart Clark heading off to the penalty box. Watch 19 black right at the top of the crease. And that's the infraction. Referees are going to discuss it. So nothing up on the board as of yet. Fans down below us are yelling 5. I don't think they're going to get that as we look at that last save from Higgins in tight on Thomas Hogarth. And they are going to call a 5 by the looks of it. As we take a look at more Zach Higgins highlights. That kind of surprises me a little bit. It was an intentional high stick, a bit of a spear up high, but I didn't think it had too much force behind it. I know the referees want to get rid of stuff like that, so I guess they're setting the tone moving forward as things are starting to heat up. Maybe this will settle things down.
Let's see if the Lakers can cash in. Reza Terrence shoots, just misses. Why? Well, another save by Zach Higgins, that's why. And up the other way comes Jacob Hickey. So far so good for the Brooklyn penalty kill. They make the save and quickly get the ball back, and they'll eat up as much time here as they can, as McLeod will just come over towards the near boards and take things from there.
Yeah, Lakers aren't forcing because they know there's lots of time and they're going to get the ball back, so you don't want to force the play and potentially make a mistake. But as the shot clock runs down there, you see two guys strip the ball from McLeod. And Brooklyn's going to get the ball right back.
Yeah, they were about to take possession, and then a little bump, and then McLeod puts his helmet back on. Well, no, he's got to go to the bench to get it properly readjusted. Clip probably came off. And a little bounce pass. Probably needed the rest anyhow after a pretty good shift there. So a major penalty here in Peterborough, trying to get the ball back so they can go and work on the power play. Down 5-2. Getting into the later stages of the period. And there's a moving pick. Colton Armstrong, he had his helmet popped off.
A collision with Cook, and they're both going to exchange some words on their way to the bench. But Peterborough will get the ball and an opportunity to set up on offense now with the man advantage.
Reza Terrence here to Saris. He will start here on the top of the power play. Back and forth to Katoni. Here's Reza Terrence, shoots, wires one. Higgins with a save. Reza Terrence picks up his own loose ball. Good hustle there by the veteran. And it comes back to the top. Saris, Katoni. Saris, backhand feed. Reza Terrence has some room across to Katoni. Katoni, Reza Terrence, shot. Higgins with a save. Rebound, it rolls, and that's a break for Peterborough, as it's going to be Saris taking it. And Saris coming in. 3:18 left in the major penalties. Saris, Reza Terrence shoots, tried to go over the shoulder of both the defender and the goalie. Went off the defender. Saris down. Robinson. Saris will unload, shoots. Big save, Higgins. Saris, we've seen him score earlier in this series a couple times with that big shot, but not this time. And there's a race for the ball. Hogarth doing his best to kick it ahead to Saris as well. Jake Withers in there, and Withers slides and slips past his check and gets it ahead to Thomas Hogarth. Hogarth down to Reza Terrence. 2:42 left in the penalty. Katoni to Saris, back to Katoni. Reza Terrence, Hogarth with a shot, goes off a body up and out of play and a reset.
What a shift from Holden Garland. That's his second block shot from in tight, both on Hogarth.
Saris down low, gets it back here at the top. Holden Katoni. Saris shoots, and that goes wide. Follows up, tries to keep it in with a swipe here maybe. He's got two Brooklyn Lacrosse Club guys on him, including Barnable and Jacob Hickey, and Hickey's going to play it here. So nothing so far for the Lakers, and they're almost 3 minutes into their power play here.
Yeah, they got to start forcing this a little bit to try and get the ball back. No more holding back.
Looking for at least one. I mean, on a 5-minute major, you want perhaps two if you can.
And at the start of the 5, you had time to let the 30-second clock run down. You don't now. You've got to press like this.
And then make sure you don't take a penalty yourself. So the Lakers do get the ball back. 1:44 left in the 5-minute major. Gilray. He'll get it to Tate Katoni. So Lakers throwing out a little bit of a different look here. Katoni at the top. Moves it a little further for a Holden Katoni. Saris comes in. Katoni unloads, shoots, and Higgins makes the save up high.
Veteran move by Higgins. He knew he had it, but you see him sidestep out of the crease just in case it dropped and took a nasty hop behind him.
And Brooklyn with it, trying to kill off some more time here in this major. Cook sends it over to the far side, over by the Brooklyn bench. Good crowd on hand here. Great to see that tonight here at the Iroquois. Home of the best homemade cookies in the league, I would say, Scott.
Is that right? That's the verdict after you tried them out?
the biggest and the best. And here comes Rezataritz to Katoni. Lakers trying to get something to show for this 5-minute power play. Saris to Katoni. Lost it, gets it right back. Katoni cross to Rezataritz. That was the plan, but broken up. Went off the Brooklyn stick of Jacob Hickey, and Hickey will jog it inside Peterborough territory. And if the Lakers do get the ball back here at the end of the 30, they won't have hardly any time at all to work on the power play. Brooklyn's that close to killing off a 5-minute major.
The shot clock pretty much matches the penalty. It's about 3-second difference.
So a missed opportunity by the Peterborough Lakers here with a 5-minute major. One-handed shot. Rose with the save. And coming out is going to be Taggart Clark after serving his 5-minute major. And a nice ovation by the Brooklyn faithful here. Here's Holden Katoni. Pass here for McCulley, back to Katoni. He comes in, shoots, bounce shot. Not on net. Rezataritz tried to keep it into the Brooklyn side of center, but Hessen was right there to make the call. Now we got to fight in behind the play. McCulley dropping the gloves here, going to go at it here with, looks like Keenan Cook. McCulley and Cook here in game 6 going toe-to-toe. McCulley knocks him down to the turf. Cook tries to get back up. And we'll see if that fires the Lakers up. Brad McCulley dropping the mitts.
Lakers had to do something to try and spark the team, and McCulley decided to step up and be the guy. Both guys taking the buckets off, taking the gloves off. And good on Keenan Cook for answering the bell. He knows McCulley is just trying to get some momentum for the Peterborough Lakers. He could have walked away, and he decides to square up. And there's the tail end of that one. Referees are going to discuss to see if there's any extra penalties out of all that.
Looks like 5 and 5, if I can read lips and hand signals there. But
that's what it looked like for sure. And it will be Brooklyn ball when all is said and done here. And you can see Hessen signaling 5-5 in terms of penalties, 5 aside, which will keep things at 5-on-5. He wants to make sure he's clear. He's had to wave those hands a while.
It's all coming with 1:15 left in the second. 5-2 Brooklyn leading. They lead the series 3-2, can wrap it up with a win here tonight, and they would move on to take on the Six Nations Chiefs in the MSL Finals. Peterborough needs a come-from-behind victory tonight to force a 7th and deciding game, which would be tomorrow night. Here's Kiernan, another little bit of a trick shot, and then knocks Hope down in the crease. Hope up here, Colton Armstrong. Armstrong feeds it down a little further for Gilray. Gilray across, he stepped into the crease. And now we have words. It's Armstrong's going to get the gate. Colton Armstrong heading to the penalty box.
Gets a big applause from the Brooklyn fans who love this. The energy level turned up in this arena at about the halfway mark of this second period. It just feels different in here. Roughing the call against Armstrong, and you see 44 white right in the middle of your screen. Referees let them go for a little bit, and then it's that shot right there that was the infraction.
So now we'll power play here for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club, as it's going to be taken by Tanner Cook. Kiernan at the top. Comes in, backhand flip pass. Out in front, Cook couldn't get it. It'll be scooped up here right on the dot here, Barnable. Barnable gets it right back again. Down a little further. Shot by Cook, stopped by Nick Rose. The Lakers will see if they're aggressive here. They only have 12 seconds to work with, so they might as well go for a shot here as Pace will play it. Over here to Katoni. Katoni, that's Tate Katoni with it. Trying to make his way to the crease to get a shot away. Cannot, got hauled down.
It's going to be a penalty. So with 1 second left in the period, it's going to be a delay of game call. So Brooklyn will have to send somebody down towards the box, or Peterborough, pardon me.
That's a tough one to take with 1 second left in the period. Already down a man. It's not the way you're going to want to start the third, that is for sure. Trumbull will come over to serve it. And that's it. 40 minutes down here at the Iroquois Park Arena. And the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club lead it 5-2 after 2 periods of play, and they will start the third period on a 5-on-3 power play. We will take a breather. Things getting heated up here in game number 6. We'll be back coming up. Stay with us. And welcome back, everyone. We're going to take a look back here at some of the action of the second period. Brooklyn leads this one 5-2 as they make their way out and ready to go for a power play, a 5-on-3 power play to start the period. But certainly they got off to a great start, Scott, in the second.
They did. It only took them 3 minutes to strike, and it was Ryan Barnable getting things going for Brooklyn. And then Sean Wesley would get his second of the game. And then Carter Page would get the Lakers on the board. A delayed call. They had the extra attacker out there. The Lakers were able to take advantage, but 2 men in the box for a good chunk of time. The original penalty has 1:18, and then a penalty with 1 second left. Too many men. The official call on that penalty towards the end. That's a tough one. 1 second left in Brooklyn's zone, and you take that penalty to go down 2 men to start this period.
All right, pair of 10s once again facing off here in the dot. Bo Columbus for Brooklyn. Jake Withers for the Century 21 Peterborough Lakers. And we're underway, third period action. And a big draw win here by Withers as he makes his way towards the corner. Jake Withers, Peterborough born and raised, but a firefighter down here in this neck of the woods. So, of course, full-time as well. Halifax Thunderbirds of the NLL. And here comes Saris. Saris, maybe a future Thunderbird. You never know. He's got it right now. Saris with the shot. Tries to scoop it up in the corner, and Brooklyn will get it back on this 5-on-3 power play. So they have 35 seconds left in the first penalty. So that's how much time they'll have to work here. 5-on-3. And they'll maybe just kind of work at 4-on-3 for the most part and just hang that fifth guy back if needed. Wesley with a fake, gets it down into the far crease area. Far shooter now back to Wesley. Moves it in. Kiernan across. Quick stick. Rose with the save. Rebound taken here by Tanner Cook.
Barnable right on the doorstep, but Rose slides over to make the save.
Wesley pumps, hits the iron. And this is where the fifth guy hanging back comes in handy right there as Mike Byrne will move it in. Now Colton Armstrong is out, so now it's down to a 5-on-4. So the Lakers will have it boxed up. And Brooklyn will work it here. It's Wesley in for Kiernan. Kiernan, nice pass. Little fake shot goes wide of the goal. Lakers take it. And they have 21 seconds to kill off. So couldn't ask for really a better scenario for the Lakers as it didn't look good heading into the third period. Down a lengthy time, 5-on-3, but now they're down to the final 8 seconds. Trumbull will come out of the box here shortly. Mike Robinson, in the meantime, will set it over to the far side, and he's going to find Carter Page. Carter Page, Holden Katoni, the only two to beat Zach Higgins so far here tonight.
Good kill from the Lakers, gets them back to 5-on-5. No harm done on that 2-man advantage.
Here comes the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club with a win tonight. They'll move on to the MSL Finals against the powerful Six Nations Chiefs as the ball will be played down low in the corner. 5-on-5 lacrosse here. Lakers down by 3. They need a win here tonight to force a 7th and deciding game. Kiernan to the goal, shoots, and into the crease. Would have been a heck of a goal otherwise.
And that would have ended up on the highlight reel, but referee right there to make that crease call.
Hutchison. Hutchison will get it here for Saris. Saris in for Holden Katoni. Katoni to Joe Resenterets. Lots of movement here by the Lakers. Comes back here to Katoni. Katoni tries to feed Thomas Hogarth, who's been quiet here tonight. He's had some chances and some good looks. Here's Saris, shoots. Higgins standing tall, makes the stop and keeps it 5-2.
Bit of a tough angle for Saris, trying to go far side as a right-handed shot that doesn't leave much room, but still a good stop from Higgins.
Wesley will jog it in, cradling the ball, waiting, making a simple play over to the far side. Now rolling and shooting on the run there was Cook. Lakers up the other way. Colton Armstrong. Armstrong grabs it. Got a couple Brooklyn players on him that just came off the bench and they forced a turnover. And Brooklyn will take it right back. Now it's going to be Jacob Hickey. Hickey in for Kiernan. Connor Kiernan coming in. He's got a couple Lakers on him. Strong D there by the Lakers. And it's going to be Jake Withers, the one that brings the ball up this time. Withers into the stick of Holden Katoni. Katoni, Reza Terrence, and another giveaway by the Lakers, as that was not the play design there to give it right back again. There's only so many possessions left in this one, Scott. When you're down 3, can't afford to be doing that.
No, and Higgins doing a good job at moving that ball and finding a man to keep this going on the offense.
Cook, one-handed little pass as he makes a nice little play. Gets it back. Quick shot by Cook, and Rose has it in there somewhere. It was in his left pad. And Robert Hope up ahead for Hutchison. And Hutchison had to be careful. That would have been 3 times in a row. The Lakers went off the floor and gave the ball away, but Hutchison recovered. Here's Robinson. Robinson drops it for Hutchison. Hutchison out front. Reza Terrence hits the post. Rebound. Carter Page will take it in a reset here for the Lakers. And you almost feel this is a big one. There's still lots of time left in lacrosse. 15:05 is a lot of time, but the Lakers down by 3 here. They need to get something going quick. Saris with the shot, rebound, and then Reza Terrence can't buy a penalty called against him tonight. He's been used and abused a little bit down there and can't seem to get anything to go his way.
The pressure from the Brooklyn defense has been incredible. They're playing a nice tight man-to-man, forcing the Lakers to really move, and it's been very physical in Brooklyn's end.
Wesley moves it over to Barnable. He's got Cook with him. Barnable walks in, shoots, big save, Rose. Rebound, Barnable denied by Rose. Couple big stops there by Nick Rose.
That's what you need from your goaltender right now. If he can close the door and the offense can do their job at the other end, the Lakers will be able to try and claw their way back into this one. Still down by 3.
Tate Katoni over here to Saris. Gets a pick from Hogarth. There's the roll by Hogarth heading to the net. He takes a stick a little on the high side. Shakes it off, and Brooklyn forced along the boards. Columbus, Robinson, Columbus fires it away. Quickly up the other way, Gilray up to Katoni. Katoni shoots, goes over the goal. Into the crease, and Brooklyn gets the ball right back. As Volkov will leave it here and drop it into the stick of Zach Miller. 19 on the shot clock. There is a shot coming. Tried to use a Peterborough screen out in front. Rose saw it, made the save. And here comes Matt Gilray, the co-defensive player of the year this year in the MSL. And here's Page. Page to Tate Katoni. Moves it in for Joe Reza Terrence. Reza Terrence finds an open man. And this is going to be Tate Katoni. Katoni had the ball pop out of his stick. And it's going to be Brooklyn up the other way with 13:07 to go in the third. A victory tonight by Brooklyn would make it 4 in a row in a series win over the Peterborough Lakers.
Looking to advance to the MSL final for the first time since 2013.
Here's Wesley. Wesley gets it over. He's going to find Cook, who comes in, jumps, takes the shot, stopped by Rose. Ogilvy on the loose ball. However, a giveaway. He tried to bounce it ahead for either Hutchison or Armstrong. Neither one really were expecting it. And it's going to be Brooklyn up the other way with 12.5 to go. Taggart Clark. Now it's played by Will McLeod. Over on the far side. To the near side. Miller stops to the crease. Shot, Rose. The save. Kiernan was at a tough angle for the righty to take that shot, but he still got it on goal, and he's fighting for the loose ball. Now finally taken by Ben Trumbull.
Brooklyn wasn't expecting a reset there. They all ran to the bench after that shot, so it was 1-on-3. Tough to contend against.
Here's Reza Terrence. He's on the weak side himself as a righty. He'll head back to a stronger side. Robinson. Here's a quick stick by Katoni. Holden Katoni tried to unload it. And that goes up and out of play. And it's going to be Brooklyn ball with 11:45 remaining here. It's Pete Dolladay, Scott Arnold. We got Matt and Gary and the gang from JVI here tonight in Whitby, Ontario. Wherever you're watching the game from, drop us a comment and say hello. And thanks for joining us. This is going to be Sean Wesley. There's a moving pick as Johnny Pearson was knocked down. No doubt his parents are watching from out in BC. As it's going to be played here by Hutchison. Hutchison for Tate Katoni. And a little deeper for Carter Page, one of 2 goal scorers tonight for the Lakers. Katoni, Holden has the other one. And now it's swung over here. Tate Katoni, moving pick off the ball. And now a collision here on the near side as Hutchison collides there with Samard. And the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club with 11 minutes to work, 11 miles as they say, left in this one. The Lakers need to get something going here sooner than later. At this rate, Brooklyn happy the way things are going. Shot on goal, Rose with a stop. You almost feel like one more would be the dagger, Scott.
Yeah, this late in the game as we near the halfway mark of the third period, the way Brooklyn's defense has been playing and the way Higgins has been playing between the pipes, it's going to be tough just to score 3 right now to tie this up.
Here's Saris. Saris drops it. Rezateris scores! Joe Rezateris. Buffalo Joe closes the gap. It's a 5-3 game.
Right on cue for Rezateris. Just after saying it's going to be tough for the Lakers to get 3, Rezateris gets 1 back. A nice flip pass from Saris. And Rezateris uses the screen on that shot from the outside. Nicholas Volkov was right there with the stick up, and Rezateris just goes right into him. Not sure how much Higgins saw from that rocket of a shot.
Good old school bouncer by Joe Rezateris. Pace tries to scoop it over, but Brooklyn with a good play to take it away. Mike Byrne double teamed, hit hard by Alex Pace. Paid the price, but does a nice job to get it over here to Nate Woods. And Woods, he'll get into the bench after giving the ball here to Tanner Cook. Armstrong reaches around, Cook still with it. Ran out of room, couldn't get much of a shot away. Trumbull takes it here for the Lakers. We'll see if they can go on a run. It's a 5-3 game. Another low-scoring affair here. Here it comes Carter Page. Page to Katoni. Katoni moves it in. Younger brother Tate has it. He shoots. Higgins with a save. Ball squirts out and Lakers get it back. Carter Page picked up to Lucy. He'll get it to Joe Rezateris, looking for 2 in a row. He hangs on to it. And now he feeds it over to Holden Katoni. He's going to come off the boards, working one-on-one. Spins, now comes back the other way. Katoni backhand pass, looks for Tate Katoni. And he'll have it here in the corner, but he's got Zach Young all over him. Gets away from him, shoots, he scores! Tate Katoni makes it a 1-goal game with 9:02 to go here in the third.
2 goals in a minute 23 span for the Lakers as Tate Katoni doing the grunt work in the corner and then comes out uncontested. Nobody anywhere near him. He's got tons of time as the Lakers all of a sudden starting to find some holes on this powerful Brooklyn defense. And it goes from being a 3-goal game to a 1-goal game just like that.
Another big draw. They're all big. Here's a chance, and a shot tried to come right back was Columbus. Right off the draw. And here comes Withers, who eventually gets the ball here. Columbus reminds me of a young Jake Withers a little bit. It's an interesting battle to watch the 2 number 10s go at it here. In the dot. Here's Robinson. Robinson to Katoni. Shoots. Oh, he tried to get Higgins to move, and then he was off the mark. Robinson tried to force it to Rezateris. I guess he's perhaps running out of time, but he'll get off to the bench, and out comes the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club offense led by their captain here. This is going to be Connor Kiernan with the ball. Hope keeping a close watch on him. All the way to the far boards. Cook. Kiernan slips past one check. Looking. Now it's going to be taken by Miller. Miller comes in. Twister shot. Up and out of play, and a Souvenir for a Lacrosse fan on the far side coming in from nearby Ajax, Ontario, scooping that one up. So the Lakers a shot away from tying up this game. 7:47 to go. Here's Carter Page to Joe Resetarits. Katoni, Robinson back to Joe Resetarits. Makes a move, spins, back to Robinson, shooting, the bouncer goes high. Resetarits, lone man back, tried to keep it on the right side of center, couldn't. That's over and back, and it's going to be Brooklyn ball. Up by 1. They lead this series 3-2 after 3 straight wins, including 2 right in Peterborough. Barnable to the net, crease violation. Here come the Lakers. Mitch Ogilvie. Up the floor he goes. Ogilvie shoots, tried to surprise Higgins. He made the save. Rebound into the corner. And Thomas Hogarth. The scary part here for Brooklyn is Hogarth hasn't found the back of the net tonight, Scott. So that means he's kind of due.
He's had his opportunities, especially in that second period.
Garland tries to go end to end. Stopped by Rose. Big hit by Colton Armstrong. That's a possession call. Nate Woods on the end of that one.
Lots of Lakers fans right in that section where the hit happened. They were cheering it on, even though possession is going back to Brooklyn. Couldn't even hear the whistle on that. They were so loud.
Sean Wesley. Wesley passes it over here. Cook, there's a moving pick. Hope got knocked down. And Peterborough gets it back after all. Under 6.5 to go here in the third. All of a sudden, it's turned into a nail-biter. 5-4 Lacrosse game. Holden Katoni with it. Katoni to Robinson. Robinson over here, and he's going to find Carter Page. Back to Robinson. A couple of the young guns with the Lakers. Now it's Katoni. Katoni shooting over the top. Higgins off the shoulder. Hogarth chases after the ball here, does a great job of getting to Lucy, and has a reset on the shot clock. Hogarth, he's going to roll it through and then gives it away.
All that work to get the ball, and then rolls it to the top. He saw a couple players coming off the bench, but Justin Lee was right there for Brooklyn, and he easily picked that one up.
Zach Miller to Connor Kiernan. Kiernan coming in. Miller was open for second, decides to hang on to it. He'll get it over to Tanner Cook, who opened the scoring here earlier tonight. He fires one, that goes wide. Comes all the way back here. Pass down towards the crease. Ogilvie will probably pick up this ball here. Shot clock comes to an end at the same time. And here we go. 5:20 to go in the third. Hutchison drops it for Katoni. Take Katoni to Holden Katoni over to Joe Resetarits. Saris now with it. Saris, Holden Katoni with it. Holden Katoni shoots, just misses. Rebound, that goes wide. And now it's going to be Katoni. There was some issues with the shot clock there for a little bit.
Katoni's first shot hit the post, so they were able to get a reset. Second shot, though, going wide.
Here's Katoni over to Joe Resetarits. Kind of started this comeback. There's the feed, and moving pick got caught.
Hogarth came up, set the pick on Garland a little too hard in the referee's opinion, and Brooklyn right back on offense.
Yeah, you think maybe that one at this stage of the game, this stage of the playoffs, may have not been called, but whistled down, and Brooklyn goes up the other way. Here's Kiernan, try to pass it out in front for the cutter. And it's played right in front of the penalty box here. Eric Schul to Robert Home. Here's a chance. One-handed grab by Gilray. Just couldn't complete the catch. 4:10 to go here in the third. 5-4 Brooklyn, leading the Century 21 Peterborough Lakers. As the ball is moved in deep here by Brooklyn, trying to punch their ticket to the MSL Finals with a victory tonight. Peterborough trying to force a Game 7 tomorrow at the Memorial Center back in the Liftlock City. Shot. Rose had to go by him, but it's a crease violation. That's how close that one was, Scotty.
Yes, just inches, about a toe inside the crease there when the ref blew that down. Big break for Peterborough.
Here's Carter Page going on a run. Page shoots. He's stopped by Higgins. And Brooklyn getting the ball back with 3.5 minutes to go here in game number 6, at least in regulation. Maybe we'll see overtime for the second time in a row. There was a long stretch in between games. Last game in this series was last week. And then things shut down.
Yeah, last Thursday.
Yeah. Shot coming. Goes wide. Into the corner. Trumbull. He's in there for Peterborough. Eric Schul, the veteran, in there too. And the Lakers have it. Good effort right there by Gilray. And now it's Holden Katoni. Katoni. Over here to Tate Katoni. Back to Holden. And Tate will come in. Doesn't set the pick, but sets a little bit of a screen here now. Katoni moves it over to Joe Rezaterets. Rezaterets, Holden Katoni was cutting towards the crease. They couldn't connect on the play, and Brooklyn getting it back with 2.5 now to go and a 1-goal lead. McDonald to Connor Kiernan. Kiernan gets it right back here from Clark. Clark comes in, tries to set up a little pick. It'll be played by McLeod. McLeod to the far side, comes to the near side here. 7 on the shot clock. Shot on the run, handled by Nick Rose. We'll see what the Lakers decide to do and how deep into this one they will go without pulling Rose. They'll probably like to get one here so they don't even have to do that and make it 5-5 before it gets too late. But Robinson over. Carter Page fakes. Page still with it. Back to Robinson. Holden Katoni. Tried to get it over, and now it is played by Hogarth. He's double teamed. Back here, Katoni shoots, rips one on goal. Huge save, Zach Higgins. Could be the game saver, perhaps. We'll wait and see. Just over 90 seconds left in regulation time. Samard. Kiernan. Over to the far boards with a 1-goal lead. McLeod drops it. Cook has it. Schul's on him. Takes the shot. Rose with the save. Lakers desperately need the loose ball. They can't afford another 30-second shot clock to go the Brooklyn way, but they do get it. And with 1:12 to go in regulation time, timeout is called with Brooklyn leading this one 5-4.
It could be the final possession for the Lakers. As soon as they touch that ball, they were quick to call that one. Brooklyn still has a timeout as well, so you'd have to think that they'll use it if they do get possession back as we take a look at some of the action. But we talked about the history between these two teams. Well, since Brooklyn entered the league in 1965, so 60 years ago, this is the 23rd playoff series between these two teams. Peterborough has won 12 of those series. Brooklyn has won 10. The Lakers have won their last 5 meetings, including the last 3 seasons in a row. You have to go back to 2013 for the last time that Brooklyn beat the Lakers in a big 7-game battle that was finished off at the Memorial Center. Brooklyn ended up getting swept by Six Nations in the MSL final that year, but trying to get back to the dance for the first time in 12 years. Lakers trying to force a Game 7 tomorrow night.
Joe Rezaterets will start with the ball here for the Lakers. 1:07 to go. Rezaterets down here for Saris. Quick stick. Katoni, where is it? It's in the gear of Zach Higgins, making the save off Tate Katoni. Hutchison will hustle back in between the pipes here for the Lakers. And here they come, 2-on-1. Byrne just slows it down, decides to kill the clock instead here. Armstrong trying to force him here towards the boards. A bouncer over to the far side. And now it's going to be another timeout with 42 seconds left. Little confusion on the far side as to what's going on there. Referees will have a discussion.
Yeah, Connor Kiernan's right over there. And they're pointing towards that Lakers bench. Robert Hope over there now. Brooklyn still does have 1 timeout. You can only take 1 per period. The Lakers still have 1 as well, but they've already taken 1 in this period. And there's a bit of confusion on that last timeout call. Brooklyn's doing the right thing. They're taking advantage as the refs and the captains talk it over. They had gathered their team over. Peterborough's just standing on the floor waiting for Brooklyn to come down. Nick Rose back in the net. Hutchison the faster of the two goalies. So when they pulled Rose, Hutchison ran back into the net. Just he's got a little bit more foot speed, and that's some pressure for Hutchison. Not only do you have to try to get back to the net to cover, you also have a potential of facing your first shot since warm-up over 2 hours ago.
That's a big goal by Tate Katoni. You just saw there, but they need another one. 42 seconds left. Peterborough does. Brooklyn that close to moving on. There's been so many dramatic games here in this arena over the last couple of weeks. Anything can happen, I would say, in the next 42 seconds. Loose ball forced by the Lakers, and they'll grab it. Rose to the bench for the extra runner. This is it. It's now or never here for Peterborough. Holding Katoni. Katoni to Reziteritz. Moves it in a little deeper. Saris, Katoni. Down low. Saris across. Shot. Quick stick. They score. Tate Katoni. It's 5-5 here at the Iroquois.
Tate Katoni sliding in at the side of the crease. Watch 91 White. You see him just slowly make his move to the side, and then as soon as that crease man moves just enough to free up Katoni, the pass comes over, and he executes the quick stick with perfection. Just a great heads-up play by the Lakers, realizing that Katoni was open as Joe Reziteritz with the perfect pass.
Came with 18 seconds left in regulation. Now the Lakers get possession off the draw as they try and win this one before overtime. They'll have the final chance. They've pulled the goaltender, Nick Rose, again. Maybe they'll go with the same play. We'll wait and see. Here's Katoni, and the pass. Reziteritz wasn't quite ready for it. Tries to recover. He's got it. Joe Reziteritz, 4 seconds left. Comes over to the near side. Holding Katoni. Needs to shoot now. There it is. But phone the neighbors. Wake the kids. We're heading to overtime here in game number 6. OT for the second straight game. The next goal wins. What a finish in regulation. Wow.
Just an incredible rivalry, and these teams writing another chapter. Talked about moments ago their playoff history. This is the 4th year in a row that these teams have met in the postseason. There was a stretch where they played each other 8 straight years in the MSL final from 1983 to 1990. It's pretty much through the entire 80s. Brooklyn won 6 of those, Peterborough winning 2. These two storied franchises. Brooklyn entered the league in 1961 as the Hillcrest. First time they met in the playoffs was 1965, which was 60 years ago. Peterborough was in the league a little earlier. They came in 1949 as the Lumberjacks. And they've been kind of the two main staples along with the Brampton Excelsiors. Six Nations Chiefs joining in the 90s. And there's a look at Tate Katoni with the finish. 18 seconds left. A huge goal.
He almost blew by his brother there without the fist bump, but snuck it in there on his way to the bench. And what is one of the biggest goals of his career as a Peterborough Laker?
So we've got just under 40, or just over 40 now. They're going to have to wait for that to tick down, even though teams are ready. They are going to wipe it. Usually they'll wait for that to make it official, and then it'll be 10-minute sudden death overtime.
All right, here we go. Columbus and Withers on the draw to start overtime in what should be the final draw of the game, unless something unusual happens here. And it's scooped up here by Colton Armstrong. Armstrong coming in. He'll slow it down, looking for an open man. That's going to be Withers, who stayed out there. He gets it to Gilray. And the Lakers will have first chance here of ending this one tonight. Here's Katoni. They need a win to force a Game 7. Tate Katoni. He'll get it to Robinson. Robinson in here Here's Holden Catoni. Oh, and a chance. Hogarth was checked right as he went to catch that one. And as we mentioned, he is due to score a big one. We'll wait and see. In the meantime, it's going to be Brooklyn with it. They won Game 5 in OT. That one went fairly deep into overtime. We'll see if this one is finished off quicker one way or another, as it'll be played here by Sean Wesley. Wesley over to the far side for Barnable. Barnable back here. Here's a shot. That was partially blocked. Good defensive play there by the Lakers, who get the ball back. Peterborough with it. The captain, Robert Hope. Hope gets it over center before passing it off here. Here's Saris. Saris in for Robinson. Robinson still with it. Heads towards the net. Fires one on goal. Higgins with a save, but the play had been whistled down. Brooklyn right back down the other way. Moved in here by Holden Garland. Garland to Miller. Now this is Cook. Cook with it. Passes it to Wesley, back here to Cook. Fires one. Rose with a save. Rebound. A reset here for Brooklyn. The captain, Kiernan, slows it down just for a second. He'll get it for Wesley. Wesley up towards the top. Moves it in a little deeper. Comes across. Shot, a sidearm shot blocked. And Wesley gets it again. 12 on the shot clock. Now it's Miller to Cook. Comes in. Thought about shooting. Tries to roll off the check. Shoots. What a shot. And a save by Nick Rose. Wow. What a play that would have been to finish it off. Here's Carter Page in overtime. Tied at 5. Page take Catoni. Now to Mike Robinson. Robinson to Holden Catoni. Moves it over to Carter Page. Page coming in. He's got some room. Shoots. And Higgins has it up high. He makes the save. And the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club in overtime, coming inside the Peterborough zone. McDonald with it. Moved in a little deeper. Here's Clark. Taggart Clark. Passes it off. Kiernan has the ball. Looks, shoots, goes high in behind the Peterborough goal. Robert Hope, the captain for the Lakers, will take it. He'll zip it ahead here to Hutchison. 3 minutes into OT. Hutchison, Robinson, Saris to Joe Reziteritz. Had a bit of a lane. Now he goes in, shoots, tries to go low on Higgins, who made the save. Hogarth fighting to get the loose ball and the rebound here. Robinson helping him out. Robinson tries to scoop it up. Hogarth knocked down to the carpet. And there's 4 Brooklyn Lacrosse Club members in there, and they outnumber the Lakers and take that ball and head up the other way. Samar gets it over center. Still has it. Now he unloads it over here to the near side. Next goal wins. Sudden victory as it comes over here, and it's going to be played. Wesley in for Cook. He comes in towards the crease. Another one-handed shot, and Rose makes the save. Withers is there for the loose ball. Quickly gets it up to Ogilvie. And the play is whistled down. Maybe a timeout called by Peterborough.
Yes, they're using their last timeout there, trying to see if they can finish it now. And no sense waiting. Next goal wins, so it's not like in regulation or in other periods where you're waiting until usually the final 2 minutes, maybe the final minute, to call your timeout. Lakers trying to design a play as Tracy Koluski has the offense together. Only difference in a timeout in overtime is the goalie will stay in the net. Usually a late regulation or a late period timeout from a team means the goaltender will be on the bench for the extra attacker, but you don't have that luxury here, because if this play doesn't work out, you want your goaltender in that cage. You want him set. You want him ready. Last game was an 8-7 overtime victory for Brooklyn. It took 7 minutes and 17 seconds of lacrosse for Will McLeod to score the OT winner, as we take a look at the previous scores in this series.
All right, and it's going to be Braden Saris starting the play here for the Peterborough Lakers. To Thomas Hogarth. Back to Saris. In for Joe Reziteritz. Saris cuts through the middle. Reziteritz to Holden Catoni to Tate Catoni. He's going to go one-on-one here. He rolls. Catoni with it. Over the top. He scores! Tate Catoni tied it, and now he ends it in overtime. It is a 6-5 win by the Peterborough Lakers. Get ready. Game 7 is coming up in less than 24 hours at the Peterborough Memorial Center, thanks to Tate Catoni.
The hat-trick goal for Tate Catoni, and then the celly, he just runs over, gives the salute to the Lakers fans who made the trek here to Whitby, and then he was right off to the dressing room. And there's the bouncer from the outside. A tough angle, but a bouncer always hard to stop. There's the first salute, and then he points towards the bench.
He says we're going back to the Borough. What a game that will be. It's coming down to game number 7, Peterborough Memorial Center. For fans wanting to go to the game, tickets will be on sale at 9:30 tomorrow morning at the Peterborough Memorial Center. They'll be lined up on Lansdowne Street, no question about it, for what should be an epic battle between these long-time rivals. Let's take another look one more time. Catoni coming in, wide left, over the top, and bouncers will go, as our good friend Pat Gregoire would say. And Tate Catoni says good night. That is a walk-off shot by the great Tate. What a game. High fives by those guys. Well, Scott, before we wrap it up, just a couple quick final thoughts. I know you got to get to work in about 6 hours' time and get ready for Game 7.
Now, what a second half for the Peterborough Lakers, trailing 5-1, and they score 5 unanswered goals from the halfway mark of the second period all the way into this overtime goal. 4 minutes and 13 seconds into the extra frame. Just an incredible come from behind overtime victory, and Tate Catoni really stepping up. He had the tying goal, he had the game winner, and he also had another goal earlier in the game. 3 goals and 1 assist. And if there was 3 stars in this one, he would no doubt be on top of that one. Zach Higgins, who started the game so well, he had a good 60 minutes, played well.
Yep.
You just can't stop them all when all that pressure is coming your way. The Lakers were firing shot after shot after shot, and he was the busier of the 2 goalies for sure. But I know he'll recover nicely tomorrow, and this sets up what is going to be an epic Game 7.
It sure does. It is going to be a dandy. Tomorrow night, I want to thank Gary, Matt, the entire JVI crew for having us. What a great program it was to be part of. These guys do a great job, and thanks to the MSL for having us as well. On behalf of Scott Arnold, I'm Pete Dalladay. Good night from Whitby, Ontario.